In this video we are taking our first look at these, the Saucony Endorphin Shift 3. What is up everybody and welcome to 40 Runs and another Saucony video. Yes, you might be getting sick of me talking about Saucony, but I really like their shoes this year. Now, we've got here the Shift 3. What a beautiful looking machine. Now, if you don't know what that is, we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the changes that they've made to this shoe, but most importantly, how I found it over these first couple of runs. Okay guys, so before we get into the video, let me know in those comments, have you subscribed to this YouTube channel? No? Are you part of that 69% that watch these videos that haven't subscribed? Well, I want you to hit that subscribe button, and then I want you to hit that bell notification, because that way you're going to stay up to date with all the awesome running content we make on this YouTube channel. Okay people, back to the video. So, Saucony Endorphin Shift 3. What do you think about it? Look good? Not look good? Let me know. What's interesting for me is that they put the Saucony logo here. Now I think this is the first shoe that's got the Saucony logo here instead of here. Let me know in the comments if that's your thoughts or not. I was going to say if that's true or not. You wouldn't know, would you? But yeah, let me know if you think this is the first shoe with that there instead of up here on the upper. Okay, so we're going to do the stats and features first, and then we're going to get into how I found it on these first runs. Okay, so they've increased the stack. We've got 35mm under the forefoot. We've got 39 in the heel. We've got a new TPU inserted the heel to create stability, to help stability. We've got a very cleaned up upper with a couple of overlays on the midfoot to help with that lockdown. We've got 4mm drop. The shoe is, hang on, I'll check how much it is, £140, and it weighs 10 ounces for my UK 9.5. It's true to size. No problems with the sizing whatsoever. New mesh upper, outsoles the same as it is. You've got bits of blown rubber. Ah, I nearly forgot. Speedroll technology is still here, people. Power Run midsole. So this is part of the Endorphin lineup. You've got these two. That's the Pro and the Speed. But the difference between those and this is this has got Power Run midsole instead of Power Run PB. Now, in terms of feel, we'll come on to that when we talk about how I've got on with it in terms of running, but the softness of the shoe is noticeable versus previous versions. Combined with the speed roll, which some of the other shoes sort of lack. So let's think Triumph, yeah? Triumph has got Power Run PB Plus. Actually, have I got it down here? Yeah, Power Run PB Plus. This is Power Run, but you've got the speed roll. So what does that mean? That means it's trying to create, or it's trying to ask you as you're running along to, or encourage, that's the best word, to go from heel to toe and roll through your stride. You've got more of a beveled heel, see that? And then you've got that nice toe spring up the front. So it really is trying to take you through your stride. And that combined with the Power Run, which is softer and lighter versus previous versions, is definitely an improvement for this shoe. Now, a couple of things I would say. I think the build quality on this shoe is probably the worst I've seen on Saucony for a long time. I've never had any complaints recently about Saucony build quality, but this is the worst shoe I've seen in terms of quality. It's very Nike in terms of the glue, and overall the way that they fitted, it's not going to come out, I don't know, can you see the little bits and bobs on that? So I'm a bit disappointed about the quality of this shoe. I'm not just moaning for the sake of it, but it's not very Saucony, if that makes any sense. But yeah, that's probably about it in terms of stats and features, and a little bit more about the shoe. Okay, so I've struggled to get this review out because I'd not done enough in the shoe to warrant putting a first impressions video out. I'm not, you know, I try not to if I can. Just stick a review out. Done 7k first run. I don't see that much value coming out of that. So I always try and get 3 runs in minimum before we put out a video. I've actually got more than that in this shoe, but I wanted to come on. It's just the mileage is still not as high over that sort of 25 mile mark on this shoe yet. But anyway, we'll go with it. So talking, and that's basically because I'm tapering if you're watching this video, because we've got a marathon coming up. But yeah, so in terms of this shoe, I am surprised by the springiness of the Power Run. This shoe definitely feels lighter than the previous versions. It definitely feels springier. with the Power Run, because they've lightened it up and it's just got a little bit more bounce to it. It's very much like what's in the guide and in the Tempers. It's just, the Tempers are a little bit funny because you've got the Power Run PB in there, but it's a noticeable change in the Power Run, how they've switched it up in this shoe. I like the fact of the TPU insert, or TPU heel, let's call it, that's sort of reducing some of that wobbling. Because of the high stack height of the shoe, I would be concerned about stability issues, but that does help actually. And because it's Power Run, which is a little bit firmer than some of those sort of softer compounds, I'm thinking Fresh Foam More, for example, with the More 4 shoe that we've not had yet on the channel. But because of the slightly firmerness of the Power Run, it irons out any of those sort of stability issues. So it's a great ride. It's just, I just can't get over the bounciness of it versus the previous versions. Now, I remember this shoe, the first version was like a brick. It was just a big lump of Power Run, and it was so firm, it was so hard, and it was just no joy to the shoe whatsoever. They changed it up in version 2. They did make a massive improvement with the shoe, but the evolution here is a real positive, and it does make you think, do I need the Glide Ride? Now that's a strong statement, because you guys hopefully by now know how much I love Glide Ride 3. But we need to do some more testing to see if it takes the crown of the best long run shoe. I'm not saying it will do. By the way, it's got the most pointless pull tab on the back ever. But it does feel great, and it does feel effortless. Do you know what I mean? And 10 ounces is probably about the right weight for it. The fit and around the overall sort of heel comfort area is nice. It's not overly, you know, like a Nimbus or anything like that. It's just not a lot to it. And if you compare it to a Glide Ride, it is a little bit more sort of speed. I'm talking about endorphin speed feeling. So you get that kind of nice feeling as you're stepping. Again, the Glide Ride's not a bad shoe in any shape or form, but I don't know. It's just something about it. They've really brought the Shift a little bit more to life, I think, with this version. Okay, so bottom line, would I recommend you trying this out? Yes. If you had Shift 1 or 2, 100% try this out, because it is a big improvement versus the other one. Not a big improvement as in they've put stuff on it to make it more awesome, but just the subtle changes of, you know, 35mm under the forefoot and the slightly softer, bouncier feeling Power Run. It just gives you that little bit more, and when you're spending £140, you want that little bit more. It is a good complement against the Pro 3, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3 as an everyday shoe. Do you see what I mean? So I think it's worth considering. The runs I've done it, I've enjoyed. It's been fine. It's actually picked up the pace quite nicely as well. So yeah, I think as a first impressions, if you've enjoyed 1 or 2, have a look. If you're looking for a daily trainer with a little bit more stack, have a look. And maybe you've got the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3 as your race day shoe and you need a daily trainer, have a look. Right, that's it for me. First impressions of the Shift 3. Hopefully I helped. We're going to come back. We're going to put some much more miles on this. We're going to run it through. We're going to compare it, do the usual sort of stuff. But that's the first impressions of the Shift 3, which I've just realised I didn't even bother undoing.